Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at how to create a keyframe animation of a character running across the screen. However, we will create a run cycle and then we will simply move the composition from left to right so that the character moves in space. We will also look at how to create a movie with the run cycle playing 3 times, having a common background sound, and then the foley of footsteps. Okay, so the footstep effect and then the birds chirping. Also look at how to create a background where the trees in the foreground and the mountains are on the background. There's also a slight blur so that the character is in focus. In the previous tutorials, we looked at how to create the rig for this character. So I will put the link below, so you have the uh, link if you want to follow on how to create a character like this, so you can create the run cycle. So let us get started with the run cycle. I'll just play the sound. Okay, so there is a bird chirping and then the footsteps. Let us get started. In After Effects, I will open the file which we use to make the character walk, and in this case the character is walking in place and the camera is moving. So what we are going to do is delete our street composition. Before we delete it, we'll go to File, Save As, and I'll say give it a new file name. Alright, and then I'll delete the street composition. I don't need it. I don't need the street layers. I'll delete it. And then now we are left with the walk cycle. So there's a walk cycle layer and we can delete the walk cycle layer, but when we delete the walk cycle layer we get these errors. So if you search for those errors, then there are 7 of those, so we got rid of one, and then we simply search for each. I deleted something wrong, I guess. Alright, so select the script, delete it, select another script, click on it, delete it, search the next script, delete it, search the next script, delete it, delete it. Okay, so if you have not done the first project, then you will save time doing this. So now my character is ready to be animated. Okay, so I'll save this file. Okay, so what we will do is we will look at walk cycle, images. Okay, so if you look at any typical walk cycle, you will see that the contact pose is where both the feet are on the ground. Okay, so the low pose is also the leg is on the ground and the other contact pose. So you'll see that most of only few frames the leg is going to leave the ground, uh, and there will be quite a few times when both the feet are on the ground. That is for the walk cycle. And then if you search for run cycle, you will see that at all the times there's only one feet on the ground, the other feet is in the air. Okay, so that is the basic difference between the walk cycle and the run cycle. So that the run cycle looks correct is uh, if you have the correct poses. Otherwise, I have seen students creating a fast walk cycle and call it a run cycle. It doesn't work that way. You have to have completely different poses where the only one foot is on the ground for the run cycle and most of the time the 2 feet are touching the ground in a walk cycle. Having said that, I am in the will search for run cycle. I will tell you what image I have used. So you search for run cycle, and I used this as a reference image. Okay, so we will use this and bring it in After Effects. So I'll go to project, import file, run cycle. So there it is. Okay, I'll put it all the way down, scale it up. Okay, move it up, and I will open the ball, open the transparency and reduce the transparency so I can see through it. And then we will lock all these layers. Alright, so we are ready to animate. We are going to be animating after every 3 frames these poses, and there are 8 of these. Okay, so you can see that the first and the last are same, so 1 2 3 4 distinct poses 4 times to complete one loop. Into 3 is 21 frames, so we need 21 frames on our screen. And we can also hide these, I guess, hide these layers, shy them, so that our life becomes much more easier in the timeline. Okay, so we will go to position and rotation, shift R, and create a keyframe at the beginning. And now what we will do is the ball, this is the left I'll name it left foot, and this will be the right foot, so we don't get confused. So we have to create these poses. All right, we will start with this pose first, and the ball will stay in the same place, only the legs will be animated. For the walk cycle, the ball will simply move up and down. So the right foot is in the front, so we will move the right foot in the front. Okay, left foot is up in the air and in the back. Then you have to rotate the leg. The ball has to come down so that we have a slight bend in the knee. Okay, at any time we don't want to lock the knee. Okay, here it's showing straight, but however we want a slight bend there. All right, so this will be our first pose. Okay, the leg is rotated here as well, so we will the foot, so we can rotate that. Okay, there are also controls here that can be animated. Okay, but we are not doing that. We will only use the toe for this pose. Okay, so we got this done, the first pose. Then after 3 frames, 1 2 3, we will go to this pose. So the first thing is to make the rotation of the other leg 0, and it will move back. Okay, and also you have to see that motion. So the ball is here, and here it has to come down, so we have to move the ball down. Okay, So there has to be a motion of ball coming down ever so slightly. And now this leg has to come down as well. So you can also click on the leg and move it. Okay, and then you can rotate the foot. So you get this. Okay, and you have to follow this so that you can continue your animation. So we'll go to the next pose where the leg goes back. Doesn't move for some reason, so I like to do it this way. So this goes back, this leg comes in the front. Okay, and we will animate this for the other leg. Okay, minus 75 works well, and then it will move further out and will be on the ground. Okay, so the ball will further follow the same position. Okay, and then it looks like it's more up than here, so you can move that further up. Okay, and then this foot will be 0 here, so this is important. So the previous keyframe it is 0, and then the next foot we didn't animate it, so minus 75, add a keyframe, go 3 frames back and make it 0. So now we have a keyframe. Okay, now we'll move on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The next key is when the character is in air, so it will go up. Okay, this will become 0 again. Moves up. Becomes a human again. Okay, so I'm using this line as a reference to get this pose. Okay, this shoe has to be rotated right. Okay, I don't want the leg to come out of the shoe. So that is the next. So we got Okay, so we got this part done. Now we will have to, in the next class, we will do the other leg. All right.